So, welcome everybody to a day of celebration of disorder. I don't know if you've noticed, things are disorderly and we're celebrating. So, I'd like everybody, our panel of non-experts to introduce themselves. And as I've already been chatting with the incredible Mr. Cuckoo, introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you doing there in those tulips?
I'm Cuckoo.
Oh, good. How's it going?
I love my tulips. You know, they're a lot like a nose. I just realized. Here's my helpful hymn for the day.
Wow. Perfect. Very beautiful.
Hi, Frank.
Nice to see you, Frank. And thank you for joining us. How about you, Mr. I Smile?
I'm good. Thank you. Greetings, Finland.
Wow. Did you steal those from an actual reindeer?
Yes.
Very good. Very nice. You look wonderful.
Thank you. You too.
Yoo-hoo! King of Clowns. Exactly. You're muted.
I'm unmuted now.
Oh.
But I'm being interfered with by a duck. Oh my gosh. Hi, Dale. I just saw your face. Long time no see.
Very beautiful. Very wonderful. Tutu. What about you two?
Hi. I'm
Hi.
Tutu. Hi. Happy to be here. Welcome, everybody. April Fools.
Well, the joke's on you. Oh, look at the wow.
That's amazing.
Special effects, ducks, lasers. Look at this. So, I wanted to begin talking about the joke's on you. The joke's on you, and it's on me. I wrote to a friend of mine, Kyo, in Japan the other day, and I said, "Hey, Kyo, how do you say the joke's?" And he wrote me back, and he said, in Japanese we say "inga oho," which is perfect. It's like oho. It's like laughter, you know. Inga oho, oho ho 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 ho. So inga oho, which means, if you really break it down, it means karmic retribution, or reward and punishment, you know. I don't really believe it in punishment, but, you know, what you do comes around, that kind of thing. Let's hope. So, Inga Oho, and that got me thinking a little bit about a fox, Hyakujo's fox, to be specific, and that beautiful story of Hyakujo's fox. So I'm just going to read through that story very quickly for you because it's quite a beautiful story. Baizang, or Hyakujo, was giving a series of talks at his monastery, and there was always an old man who stood off in the corner and listened to the talks. And then when the monks left, the old man left as well. But one day, the old man stayed behind, and Hyakujo, or Baizang, went up to him and said, "Who are you? What are you doing, standing here listening to these talks?" And he said, "Well, I'm not a human being." That's a good answer, right from the start. I'm not a human being. In the far distant past, I was the abbot of this temple, and one day a monk came to me and asked me, "Is an enlightened person free from cause and effect?" And I answered, yes, of course, an enlightened person is free, including from cause and effect. And I was reborn for 500 lifetimes as a fox, which is a good thing, I would think. But the old man said it wasn't a good thing for the Japanese to be reborn as a fox. So the old man said, please help me. Give me a turning word and free me from these reincarnations as a fox. And he asked Baizang, "Is an enlightened person free from cause and effect?" And Baizang said, "An enlightened person is free in cause and effect, not from it." And at that, the man was awakened, and he gave Baizang a big hug. And he said, "Please, you've freed me. Thank you so much. Please go and have a funeral service for me, my fox. You'll find my body on the other side of the mountain." And indeed, Hyakujo, or Baizang, said he got all the monks together and he said, we're going to have a funeral service for a priest. And they were all like, "None of us is dead. Why is he having a funeral service?" But they all trooped off and went, and he found the fox's body. They buried it. They did a funeral ceremony. And then there's more to the story, but that's the relevant part of the story for today. What's that got to do with me and with you and with being a fool? So yesterday was my last day of work at the place where I've been working for 22 years. A few days after my mom passed away, the first day I went back to work, they called me in and said, "We're restructuring, and your job is no longer existent. So we're letting you off. This is the part where you could start playing the pictures, Hoden." So the joke's on me. I was like, wow, holy smokes. So what I did was I went around, I bought about 400 clown noses, and I went around and put them on our employees and took pictures of them if they were willing. About 400 of them were willing, and I have more than 400 pictures of them. And that's the way I spent my last month at work, taking pictures of clowns, trying to teach them, because many of them were who I've worked with for a long time now. I've worked at this place 22 years. So they said to me, like, "What are we going to do without you coming around and making us smile every day?" And I said, "Well, you need to learn to make each other smile, you're all the clowns. I've only just been bearing witness to you all. So it was a really sweet project, and many of them also brought their noses home and took pictures of their kids with clown noses, which is really sweet as well. One of whom yesterday, which was my last day, as I said, one of the kids came in, and this little girl and came running up to me and gave me a really big hug. And she had her clown nose on. Not everyone who's a clown is happy, by the way, but but most of them were pretty happy. So yeah, this is all the clowns where I worked at a big cookie factory, and it runs 24 hours a day. So it was quite a project getting photographs of all of them. And here are some of their kids as well. None of the kids were employed at the plant, I promise, other than me. So, yeah. So, I think that, for me, there were a lot of the jokes were really on me, boy, and they came hot and heavy. She gave me a hug yesterday, Victoria. And very good. That's Kyle. The nose is bigger than him. Brian. Yeah. All these clowns. So the joke's been on me. I mean, the jokes were falling so hot and heavy that, thank you. There we go. That was me yesterday, packing my bags to leave. So, yeah, the jokes kept coming in, and the election was only one of them. It was even like a kind of not the worst joke of all. There were many worse jokes that were happening for me, and I think that giving these clown noses out, sharing our love and connecting in the face of adversity, like making lemonade when life gives you lemons, or cheesecake when life gives you cheese. It was a really sweet thing and project, and kind of, it was a nice way of, you don't really get to control what life is giving you, what life shares with you, this wonderful life, as are, two of the four seals are anika, which is uncontrollable change. Everything is always changing. You can't control it. And dukkha, that causes some suffering for us. And it feels like those are, in my experience, that's what life has in store for us. There's lots of dukkha, there's lots of anika, and we don't really get to control that, and it's worse than we imagined. Like, it breaks your heart, it breaks you many which ways. But how do you then live your life? How do you then live in the world? And we do have agency, over that. We'll laugh, we'll cry, but I think, will we be free in, but not from our suffering? Will we be free in, but not from our karma? That's the question of the order of disorder, the question of today for all of you fools. So we're going to get on with the program. First, I'm going to sing. Gray skies are going to clear up. Put on a happy face. Brush off the clouds and cheer up. Put on a happy face. Spread sunshine all over the place. And put on a happy face. So, my dears, that being said, tutu. Next, you.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Okay. Thank you for being here and sharing with me, bearing witness to me as I try to figure out this new little piece. About 2 weeks ago, my wonderful friend and colleague, Maria Urson, gathered us together to do a little impromptu performance based in the prompt Pygmalion. Pygmalion. Okay, I know we're all standing on a cliff right now, but I'm going to give you a brief cliff note. So Pygmalion is an ancient Greek myth, which some of you may remember. And Pygmalion was a sculptor, and he created a statue named Galatea, which he fell in love with because he thought his creation was so perfect. And he begged Aphrodite to bring her to life, to give her the breath of life. So this little piece is called Aphrodite's Inspiration. And it's quite a bit from Galatea's point of view and moves into a little bit of what we're experiencing today. Galatea, here. Hello. Hello, Aphrodite, if you can hear me, I'm still stuck in this stone and it's cold in here and it's very still and quiet, except when, Pygmalion, he keeps trying, and could you please, if he gets it right, could you please give me the breath of life? I would so like that. It's very cold, except when he starts chipping and 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 I'm walking on that. Well, that one will never do. And then back in the stone, I have such respect for him because he just keeps going on with his artistic obsession. Here comes another one. Ouch! Oh, ouch! Oh. Okay. He tries again. This time, he gets inspired by the queen in his chess set. He decides to make me very tiny. Aphrodite, this isn't bad, right? Regal and perfectly powerful. And, very small. So small that he can put me right in his pocket. And he goes out to show me off to his bros. He's so proud of his work, but there's a hole in his pocket. And he loses his work. Back to the stone. This time, he gets inspired by Michelangelo's David. He decides to make it big. He makes me 8 feet tall with big hair and breasts. Big breasts, bigger breasts, biggest breasts. And stiletto heels and a pouty mouth, and I just fall and crash and burn from the weight of it all. Back to the stone. Hey, Aphrodite. By the way, you never gave the breath of life to Michelangelo's David. Was it because he was 7 feet tall and naked? And what would have happened if he came to life and wandered the earth like a super monster? But, there he is, living forever in his white marble, 7 feet tall. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Pygmalion surrenders to his failures and begins to know that he knows nothing. This time, he approaches the stone delicately, reverently. He chips and chisels, chip and chisel, chip, chisel, chip, and listens. He listens, and the stone pushes back. Chip, chisel, chip, chisel, chip, chisel, chip, chisel, chip, chisel, chip, chisel, chip, chisel. And suddenly, he sees her. He falls in love. The woman with whom he can see eye to eye. Oh, Aphrodite, this is your cue. Bring the inspiration. Oh, hello, love. Oh, it's so great to have feet and walk and breathe. And oh, listen, I'm going to just run into town and get a few things. And I'm going to have lunch with a girlfriend. I'll be back around 2. Aphrodite, listen, I have a few questions. Now that you've given me this birthday candle gift of life, for which I am so grateful, does it come with free will? And now that I'm living, I'm no longer perfect. Will Pygmalion love me more or less as the years go by? Oh. Now that I'm not just of his stone, but a living, breathing companion, might I shape him into an ideal man? Oh, yes. Better yet, could we shape each other in this everlasting eye-to-eye love? I, Aphrodite, AI, artificial intelligence, another Pygmalion kind of situation. Oh, this artificial intelligence, is it astonishment, invention, or apocalyptic initiation? Oh, are those Silicon Valley gods going to just give us the bum's rush right out of the Garden of Eden? Well, you, Aphrodite, you try desperately. You're working at it to bring the breath of life into the Statue of Liberty. She's 305 feet tall. Wait, hold our breath. Wait, remember. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. Oh, Aphrodite, make this story about love. Make it about love. The end. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Were you Aphrodite?
Galatea.
You were Galatea.
I got to talk to Aphrodite, the goddess of love.
You know, it was Aphrodite, Cuckoo. He was Aphrodite and Galilea. All of them.
He's everything.
That poor guy. Yeah. And poor you living with him.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
My pleasure. So, you know what we wanted to do is open this up a few times for some quick questions and answers. If there's specific answers, questions, or if anyone has a comment or would like to share some bit of their own lunacy, please, I don't know how to mediate this because I'm not mediating it, but please make yourself heard somehow. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, you mutes.
Say how wonderful. Thank you so much.
Go ahead, Kyosin.
Come on, Cookie Shins.
Well, thank you. I may be a fool for asking advice from clowns, but I'm going to put myself out there. I'm in cohort 3 of the ZPO, and we have this final project that they're all threatening us with. And I keep getting drawn back to the nose, and how could I use it for a political, how would you say, device? And that sounds like it would be a terrible mistake, but I live in a kind of conservative area, and I think about going to meetings with my county commissioners who want to establish literally home rule, separate from the state of Colorado where I live. The water board who wants to steal water from the western slope, the disadvantaged area of the western slope, the school board, which is destroying our schools. And I think, what could Kooky Shins go to these meetings and be the mute clown and just bear witness without getting beat up?
See the not beating up part. I mean, if you come to one of our meetings, which we don't have, we'll be happy not to beat you up. But I think, of course, how could a clown not be involved in politics now? And in fact, we, somehow our country's elected a bunch of them too. So,
Well, I sort of think, yeah, I'm identifying you. They say you have to meet them where they are, and I'm where they are. They're clowns. I'm a clown, right? So how do you do that without being confrontational?
Well, if I may say something about all this, I get the Google alerts for clowns, which means that when the word clown appears on a newspaper, Google filters that out and sends it to me. And people, they don't understand what the clown nose is at all. I mean, the general population. So that might backfire. You might have to find another way to demonstrate the ridiculousness of the situation. I always say that not because I don't like clown noses. I use one myself, especially when I'm working in the hospital. But I do also report this as like, the police came and questioned this person because the community was complaining because there was a person dressed as a clown in the mall. It was not like this person is doing something disturbing. It was just like, there is a clown out there. So maybe a few words before you put the clown nose on to disarm.
Cookie Shins, maybe bringing a lot of noses and trying to share them would be another way.
Yeah, I'm thinking most everybody went to the circus, although now we think our politics is a circus, which it is, in a clown car. But there's something about sharing laughter. And I again, was looking at On Tyranny, and Snyder asks us to look at each other, even though we were far apart politically. And I know it doesn't necessarily go anywhere, but it's a really good place to start, I think. So maybe if you're all together in something, a memory of childhood or something.
I wonder, rather than a nose at these meetings, if a couple hand puppets who were bearing witness to the conversation, so to speak, and were listening and also kind of gesturing and in a way mimicking what was being said, but in a maybe confused, playful way, and there's some very interesting things that the hands and the puppets can bring about.
Here in Finland, about 15 years ago, we started having these neo-Nazi and right-wing demonstrations, which were really intimidating. And a group of people here in Finland decided to dress up as clowns and go march with them and do some funny things and so forth, and then making it really ridiculous for the neo-Nazis to have those demonstrations. Brave clowns.
Yeah, the rebel clown movement is quite strong in Europe, where people dressed as clowns or clowns will go to demonstrations, and it's unfortunate that in the United States the clown nose isn't so well recognized. And I think that that person, Daniel, I think his name was, the idea of puppets. The idea is like, how can you invite humor into the atmosphere of way too serious discussion? And there, the clown nose might not work here in the U.S., but there are certainly other ways. You just want people to laugh with you, and you don't want to invite people to laugh at the power. That will backfire. Very serious discussion.
Here's something. I'd like to share something, Jenny from New York. How I'm coping, and of course there are days that I'm not. I was really struck by what Heather Cox Richardson said, and others have said it, about how the ability to experience joy now is really important, and it is a form of resistance because authoritarianism does rely on fear. And so, and thank you for bringing me back, because I used to do performance art, and you've brought me back to my inner clown today. So I wasn't going to attend, so I want to thank you for that. So I create art every day. And actually, April 5th is a nationwide mobilization, and I'm in New York, so there's going to Bryant Park. And one of the things, I'll have my sign, but to bring joy, people are bringing drums and tambourines. So, yeah, and that's been very helpful for me. Joy, in addition to my, strategic political activism, but joy is a form of resistance, and clowning, being silly. So, thank you.
And loving and connecting. So, thank you so much, all of you. We're gonna go back to our regularly scheduled programming, which is irregularly scheduled programming. Hiko has a slideshow, which somehow he's going to present through the incredible wizardry of Zoom.
I know. This is the moment you're, oh, that's not it. That's.
Oh,
The two treasures.
Just think to show that later.
Oh, you knucklehead.
it's not on the schedule later, FYI.
Oh, well, let's show this now instead of what I was going to do. How's that?
Since we're here.
Does that work for everybody? Here we go. This is Moshe. So let's see if it works, actually. I apologize. Oh, I see. I understand. So Moshe came to, he was up in Montreal and he performed about a year ago, right, Moshe?
Yeah.
And he performed for 100 clowns. There was like a clown convention in Montreal. Is that correct, Moshe? Do you want to introduce this?
No, you go for it. It was
And so he was fresh off that. He came to Boston to visit your brother. And we just spent a few hours and through this new piece he had on film. And this is it, I hope.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much. Hey, Cuckoo, where'd you go? Speak up.
That's a question for all of us. Where
Yeah.
did it all go?
Where'd Cuckoo go?
I'm really glad that I had an audience of clowns for that fuck up. It really didn't bother me at all. If you were like serious people, that would be humiliating. But
Hey,
it wasn't.
good, good. Well, the whole world is an audience of clowns, honestly. Are you going to share any pictures with us, or have you given?
Maybe later, but why don't we hear from Miko or whoever is next?
Okay, well, you still got a slideshow, in the lineup. You
Let's
want?
see how the time goes.
Okay, work on it. Come on, you get in the kitchen. So, I smile. What are you going to present to us? A clown koan? I understand the koan.
Yes. Yes. But first, we're going to have an exercise.
Okay.
I have a paper bag and a ball. So I'm going to throw a ball. I catch the ball. And now I'm going to give the ball to you, Engu. And you throw. Very good. And now to you. Very good. And now to... Who's there? I need to see those little people on my screen.
You too.
I don't know why everyone is so small nowadays. Engu is like this big. I think I saw...
Here comes Tutu. Ara.
These are very small. Ara, Tutu. That was fast. And Alice. Is Alice there? Alice, can you throw me a ball?
Yes.
That was fun. And Donate. Can you take a ball? Now I have all the balls in my bag. Thank you. And now for the koan. So I have a piece of paper here. So here is USA. Yes. And here is Russia and all the other insignificant countries in between. Okay. So imagine you're an isolated island. The island is somewhere here. It has a palm tree here. And you're sitting over here. And there's a big lion here. Horrible teeth. And sharks surrounding the island. The question is, what will you do? What will you do?
Eat a strawberry?
No. Anyone else?
Climb the tree.
It's a good one, but the lion will eat you. Anyone else?
Bury yourself in the sand.
Good one. The lion will dig you up and eat you then.
Offer them all a nose, a red nose.
No, they will eat you.
Who cares?
I think I would rip the drawing up.
Okay. But that doesn't solve the riddle.
Play dead?
Well, you would be dead after that. The trick is that you stop imagining.
Ah!
Good. Back to you, Engu.
Thank you so much. That would have, if I'd have known that trick in my koan practice, it would have gone a lot more quickly, I think. Yikes.
You stop imagining.
Just stop imagining. No more imagining.
No.
Okay. So let's not imagine. Cuckoo, you gonna slideshow us or no? No. Not now. Okay. Yoo-hoo. Oh, there we go. There's the slideshow. Okay. You might want to unmute yourself.
Okay, got it. If it's not one thing, it's another, huh?
Unbelievable.
Okay, I'm going to try to go quickly with this. This is a book I'm working on with Jeff O'Keefe. It's, like it says, Zen Practices and Values. We all need, I think, practices and values as interpreted by students, peers, and teachers of Bernie. So as some of you know, I've traveled with Bernie for a long time. So there's a lot of pictures of Bernie and others. So I'm going to go through this really quickly to start. So the title page, and that's about the metaphor of the 1,000 arms. Basically, they're all, as you all probably know, they're all kind of upaya. They're methods of saving sentient beings. And humor, I think, is one that Bernie used. So I'm going to go quickly until we get to the order sort of part. So it's divided into chapters: paying attention, sitting still, letting go of fixed ideas, bearing witness. Different people are writing. Joan Halifax is writing that one. Letting action arise. Jane Hirschfeld is writing that one. Plugging in. Eve Marco is writing that one. Plunging, about Kaz Tanahashi going to Nanjing. Okay, here we go. And then the peacemakers practice traditional ritual. So the bottom right is our host. That's no can do. When the one day he didn't wear his nose.
Or my hair.
Or your hair. And we practice traditional forms. And then peacemakers create new forms. That's Seisan. She was president of the White Plum Sangha at the time. Peacemakers invent new traditions. So Bernie came up with this around the year 2000 when he thought Zen students were being hurt by being too serious, by just pushing too hard on the cushion, and the practice would be helped by lightening up. She succeeded beyond his wildest dreams. So Eve wrote about being a verb, and this is actually Jeff O'Keefe is writing this about going electric, which is about Zoom and coming into the practice. And so here I went out of order of the book, and I added last night a few to share with you guys about this aspect of the practice. So that's actually Bernie's funeral. It's Moshe speaking to the crowd. And so here's a chapter from later in the book, Sitting at the Feet of a Great Master. It's written, we encounter one who is seemingly wiser and willing to teach. Do we run away? Do we follow? We want to learn to soak it all up, but we also don't want to be taken advantage of. My only advice is to check for a sense of humor. It can be a good indicator when you're choosing who to trust. And good luck with all this. This one I'm calling female empowerment. That's Bernie and Enkyo's idea of a ceremony. They became co-spiritual directors of the Zen Peacemaker Order in 2004 or 4, I think, or 5. This is the male bonding one. There's Frank. I think he had to go. The rituals of male bonding. Friendship. Can't hurt. Being one with the dog. That's an important practice. You can see the text. Being a mensch. This is a very important practice. The bottom, that's in the West Bank on the left, Ibrahim, and that's Junyu, Maizumi Roshi's brother, who gave me my name, Cuckoo. And on the bottom right is Norman Fisher and Robert Thurman. So I think I'm going to ask Norman Fisher to write the commentary for this chapter, Being a Mensch. He'll do a good job. And yeah, so this was Bernie's favorite song. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. It says here that true love begins with laughter. Actually, I edited it out. I had said, true love begins and ends with laughter. Okay. And then finally, but that's just my opinion, man. And I'll read you what I can't quite read it. Anyway, Krishnadas says that Bernie preferred to the Four Noble Truths, he preferred the Four Noble Opinions. Krishnadas says, if it's translated as truth, there's nothing to say about it. And that's it, just truth, period. But if it's an opinion, then it leads to endless discussion. Bernie came to ending his public talks with this phrase, but that's just my opinion, man. And as many of you know, he really did that. Okay, that's it, stop sharing. So I'm working on this book. We'll probably do one of these events around it when we get it together someday. Take it, no can do.
Will do. Will not do. So we can you can pre-order this book at the Order of Disorder, or send cash or money orders to Cuckoo.
Just cash, it'd be fine.
Just cash. Yep. And to the Order of Disorder. So now what we would like to do to end the day is embodied practice. Our dear Yoo-hoo. Would you embody a practice?
Okay, yes, let's embody a few practices. Oh my goodness. Hi, everybody. Let me get ready here. Okay. Yes, you're going to have to, today's practice requires that you have a piece of paper that you are willing to tear up. And it can either be a very official document that you really you don't like at all, like some tax statement or who knows what. Or if you don't have anything like that, you can just take a blank piece of paper of any size, and you can imagine what that might be. So if you don't have a piece of paper, I recommend you go get one. Also, this practice period will require you to actually stand up and be able to see the screen to follow along. So try your most humorous method of adjusting your position and getting ready for, I don't know what, something's coming up. And I'm going to switch my view so I can kind of see the people At least people look, oh yeah, lots of little squares. All right. So I'm going to assume that you're all ready. And I see some of you still sitting down, but if you're not, stand up and place your feet parallel under your hip bones. Let me just try to see if I can get this right. Okay. Feet parallel under your hip bones, standing what feels tall to you. And then we'll just start by releasing a little bit of tension, which is often in the neck and shoulders. What you're going to do is, on the inhale, you're going to squeeze up your shoulders into your neck and squeeze them up really, really high. And keep inhaling. And when you exhale, you're just going to bounce everything. Bounce your shoulders, bounce the TV screen. I see. Good. And inhaling up again and again. Up. And bouncing. Ah, good. And the whole idea here is to invite your sense of humor into your actions without knowing. Not knowing is very important. Don't try to figure it out. Just look to have fun, look to enjoy, and bouncing. And the whole screen bounce. Oh, that's looking great, everybody. So, not too many of us are familiar or use our sense of humor in a nonverbal sense, yet that is actually the easiest way to express it. And let's just take a look at that. First of all, with those feet parallel still under your hip bones, just start rubbing your hands. Just rub your hands, not too fast, not too slow. And while you're at it, try to bring your breathing into your hara, so deeper breaths. And then just take a moment and listen to the space between your hands. And perhaps you might feel some energy there, some warmth, some vibration. Let's try it again. Rubbing hands, a few good breaths, inhaling, exhaling, and listening. Perhaps you hear some energy there, you feel it. What happens if you separate your hands further apart? Is the energy still there? How far apart can your hands go? Pretty far, I feel it. What happens now if you just try to play with this energy? Go ahead, look for some way to move the energy with your hands in the space and just play with it. It doesn't really matter what you do with it. Just being playful with it. Oh, you guys are all looking wonderful. This is excellent. Good. So, in general, thank you. There are 3 steps to expressing your sense of humor. First, you look to enjoy what you're doing. And then you look to have fun with it. And then you invite in the funny. Some of you might bypass those first 2 parts and go straight to the funny. However, I just want to point out that if you don't know what funny is for yourself, that's fine. Explore your fun. If you don't know what fun is for yourself, explore just enjoying it and then progress. Let's try that out with rubbing hands. Without thinking about it, rub your hands in a way you find funny, not somebody else. Your sense of funny. Play with it. Nice. What happens if you add voice to it? Go ahead, explore. Non-verbal, but yet voiced. What kind of play? What kind of games? What kind of fun? What happens now if I say, go ahead and exaggerate what you're doing? Make it bigger. What happens if you make it smaller? What happens if you make it very subtle? Still funny to you. Playful to you. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, for those of you who are on the screen, whose faces or images I see, if you felt your sense of funny alive in that last exercise, raise your hand. Oh my goodness, you are advanced. Excellent. Perfect. Well, that we're going to take it just a little further. We're going to try a couple of images that are perhaps relevant to today's lifestyle. The first one involves fixed point. It's a concept that comes out of the world of pantomime and mime. And to practice this, I just want you to place your hand in a position, a comfortable place. I'm putting it a little high so you can see it because of the camera, but you can bring it down low, wherever it's comfortable. And then what I want you to do is to try to move your body away from the hand without the hand moving at all. So the hand is fixed in place. And you move your feet away, and then you bring your body back closer to the hand. So try not moving the hand and then just moving your body around the hand. You can go to the side, you could go to the other side. If you want, you can even rotate your hand even though it's staying in place, and you can walk around your hand. Excellent. Not too difficult. Now, here's exercise number 1. It involves something that you think is absolutely delicious, some food item. Elizabeth Zinner, I don't know what you're eating there, but I see you eating. Not trying this out, but that's okay. Anyway, everybody got something in mind? Oh, I'm not sure. It could be chocolate. It could be a cake. Let's imagine a cake. And let's imagine that you look to your left or your right, and just a little further than your reach, say a few feet further, you see a cake on the table. And it looks absolutely delicious. I would like you now just to look at that imaginary cake and use all your expressive tools. You can let go of your hand, express your delight, your wish to eat that cake. And if you can, invite your sense of funny into that wish to eat that cake. Oh, it looks good, doesn't it? But your hand is stuck, your hand is fixed, so put your hand back now. Because as you walk towards the cake, you say, I'm going to go eat that cake. You can't get there because your hand is stuck. You try to go, but your hand doesn't move. And and maybe you really want that cake, but I take that. You're not too happy about that. How do you express not being happy about the cake? What kind of feeling comes up for you when you can't reach and eat the cake? Can you invite humor into that feeling, into your expression of that feeling, with your gestures, with the sound of your voice? Like for me, I'm actually getting a little angry. Oh my goodness, I want the cake. I'm frisco. Okay, so what happens if you play that energy subtly rather than big and exaggerated? What happens if you look at that cake and you really want it and I'm not happy because I can't get it? And you give the smallest expression. Try it out. You're not happy. Everybody get a little something there? It's hard to tell with these little tiny images. But think of it in real life and humor and sharing humor. The idea of sharing humor means that you really have to be connected with somebody before you can share the humor. But if you aren't happy about something and you're in conversation with somebody, can you offer them a suggestion of your not being happy with your sense of humor? Definitely. And would that possibly be received a little bit better than if there wasn't any humor in that expression? Well, I would dare say yes. Would you dare? There you go. That's tool number 1.
Oh.
Expressing. Now, let's take that even a little bit further now, if you're all willing. Please take your piece of paper and imagine something that really you don't like reading. Oh, mine's upside down. Imagine perhaps even that it makes you feel outraged. How could you express outrage with your sense of humor? Give it a try. How would you treat the paper if you're not having it? And then you have this amazing idea. You have an idea that illuminates the inside of your being. Can you express that with your sense of humor? Oh, I have an amazing idea. Everybody got something? Good. And the idea is, some of you already guessed it, you're just going to tear this piece of paper, this whatever document is, into nothingness. And you prepare yourself, and you take the piece of paper and you tear it in two. Well, maybe in two. And then you decide, that's not good enough, I'm going to tear it again, and you tear it into two more pieces. Then you take those pieces, you bring them together, and use your voice to go, rah, and like enjoy tearing this up. Have fun with it. Yeah. And then you get to a point where you have so many pieces of paper, it becomes difficult to tear. You can't get that tear going. And once again, frustration, expressing frustration. Meanwhile, cuckoo with eating the paper. I'm not sure why. That wasn't the instruction. And I got it one more time. You now have lots of pieces of paper. You have succeeded in expressing a sense of frustration with your sense of delight. And by the way, in the Hopi traditions, delight maker is one of the names that they give the clowns to create delight. And we're going to create delight by throwing this collection of pieces of paper as if it were confetti and celebrating its destruction on the count of 1, on the count of 2, and 3, and whoa! And that was your very short sacred mischief training. I'm going to conclude by all bowing backwards together. This is something that I discovered when I was an artist in residence at the Zen Center of Los Angeles, and I was standing next to a priest who was bowing after each chant, and I was asked by the Reishi at Gyoku to go and clown the ceremony, and I'm standing next to him. What do? I started bowing backwards because the clowns are contrarians and they do everything in the backwards way. So it looks something like this. You take your hands, you get ready, and then you bow backwards. And we're all going to try it together, all right? So everybody, get in position, whether you're standing or sitting. And the 1 on the count of 3, and the 2, and the 3, and the 4. That was your initiation into the order of disorder. Unofficial, of course.
No, completely official.
Oh, well, there you go. And more balloons.
You can now bring your card to the Order of Disorder Center near you, and you'll be immediately.
Oh, gosh.
The bullets. You. What a wonderful exercise. You're still with
Pleasure.
So, I think we might wrap it up with, although with a couple of minutes of questions or comments, or add your own mischief, please.
Anybody has anything they want to ask or say, please unmute. Thank you, Duffy.
I have a question.
Evie, what happened?
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I want to know, in clown style, how do you stop imagining? That's a question for I Smile, I think.
I think so. He's doing it now.
I think it's, or I feel it's the same as not even not knowing. Kind of the first tenet of our order.
Not knowing.
No, not even.
Not even.
Okay.
Yeah, not knowing's a lot of work. Just try not even not know.
Not even not knowing. Cool. Okay. Thank you. I'll try that.
Thank you, Evie.
David. You're not muted.
Not even
Not even not muted.
Not even not muted. Ow. Hurt me against. Thank you.
Well, it's not a very talkative group, I have to say.
I gotta say, there's salt and pepper.
They're stunned silent. Okay.
Alice, are you writing it down? Writing it down.
important modes.
Oh, there we go. David.
You broke your finger.
No, he's playing his flute with his nose.
They call that shaka boogie. Thank you so much.
I'd like to dedicate this to all the unlit candles.
Whoa, what is that? Is that?
You don't get enough attention. We only pay attention to the lit ones. Here's the unlit candle.
Yeah, thank you so much. I thought you were happy to see me. That was an unlit candle, huh?
There was a Zoom censorship.
Okay, my dears. Well, if that's all you got, that's all we got.
Thanks, everybody.
I got a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Dale.
So I'm wondering what's the connection between gratitude and humor?
I don't know,
Or
but
how much?
I misread your name. I misread it as stale deal.
That's me. Thank you.
There you go. That was gratitude and humor. You did the humor, you did the gratitude.
That's a good one.
Oh, boy. Yeah, they don't always go together, but they certainly can go together. I don't know that they always do, though. How about you? Yoo-hoo.
Oh, I'm very grateful that the funny is alive in my life. I that's all I can say.
Yeah.
Maybe when I express gratitude, I get a little bit more breath going, and then I feel a little happier, and there's a little more humor that can come along.
In the book I'm doing, there's a page about the deep bow, and how Kaz Tanahashi did it in Nanjing with a so-called peasant who just hadn't really seen that bow since since, I don't know, the 1920s. He grew up with it, and then he went through the Cultural Revolution and all of that stuff, and the invasion, occupation by Japan. And he and Kaz and Joshin Althaus went together without rehearsing, went to the memorial altar and did that bow in unison, which I found astonishing. So I have that on one page, and on the other page is Nokendu, who you see here, doing that bow in gratitude to the elders at Pine Ridge. So that was a perfect example of humor and gratitude working together. Just as on the other page, it was deadly serious.
Thank you. Thank you for that question, Dale. Mr. Steele. Spite. I smile. Unbelievable.
Stunned silence. I think that's we should call it.
Stunned silence. One last backwards bow. Thank you, everybody. We love you very much. We're here every April 1st until we're not.